Oi, there we are.
We're here.
One thing.
We're doing it.
I don't know what this is.
I don't know. We're Kiwis all of a sudden.
I don't.
That got bad.
Oh my god.
That went bad.
This is already tragical. This is already tragical.
I felt it. It got bad.
Tragical.
I would just like to say that Mike Avellino, Harbor and Ball,
Yeah.
the one and only, a great guy all around, 10 out of 10, 5 stars, named our episode last week because at 11:50 p.m. on Saturday night, I was like, I don't know what to name this episode. This is horrible. I suck at my life. Because normally when I'm editing, I'm like, ooh, that's a good title. So I just picked that title. But I could not pick a title. So Mike, our friend, he named our podcast last week, Yo-Ho, Yo-Ho, Podcast Life for Me. He's a shining star.
Thanks, Mike.
This podcast would be nothing without him.
TheBomb.com.
Mike, you get 10 tragical points that can be used towards something. Also, I got a message on the gram
You did.
from my friend Ariana, who I used to work with. She's a sweet angel baby. I'll read it to you.
Okay, I'm nervy.
Hi, I enjoyed listening. This is her voice. No, I'm kidding. She has like the most beautiful accent. I'm not even going to try to be as beautiful as her.
Oh, no.
Hi, I enjoyed listening to your podcast, and since I had nothing else to do, here is a list of blood featured in Disney movies.
Oh, good.
You ready?
I'm so ready. It's not going to be a lot.
This is my favorite message we've ever gotten. According to a blog, the first time blood appeared in a Disney movie was in Sleeping Beauty, 1959.
Who bleeds in Sleeping Beauty?
During the slaying of the dragon scene.
Maleficent
Dragon blood.
bleeds?
Yeah, girl.
I don't remember that.
They also mention a short film called The Winged Scourge focusing on, is that a word? Scourge?
Yeah.
Focusing on blood and mosquitoes, but didn't have much information on that.
What?
Blood is also seen in Hercules when he's dealing with the Cyclops. In Up, when Carl hits the construction worker with his cane. Mulan, before she faints after the avalanche. The Black Cauldron, when Henwin is taken.
Yes, that one I
Taran
did
has
know.
a bloody mouth from the dragons.
Yes, that one I did know.
Tarzan shows bloody jaguar paw prints in the cabin.
True. That one it does.
Oh, that one's really sad.
Yeah, because it's his parents' blood.
Why am I so emo today?
I
think it's because
don't
it's
know.
late and I've been up since like 9 a.m.
Yeah, we cried watching a
because
TV show earlier.
Oh.
So we'll get back to that. Okay.
Netflix recommendation following this amazing DM. Finding Nemo when Dory hits her nose.
Okay, that one. Yep.
I saw a posting about a possible blood splatter scene in Alice in Wonderland scene, but I couldn't find it. There's also an image of
Blood
Bambi.
splatter.
I also saw a posting about possible blood splatter. Blood splatter. We all know I can't speak. In an Alice. It's a good thing I have a podcast. Scene in Alice in Wonderland scene, but I couldn't find it. There's also an image of blood of Bambi next to his bloody mom on the internet, but I didn't see that scene in the movie. Lastly, I watched Bolt and they don't physically show blood on his paw.
Yeah, bitch. They don't. You fake.
She sent me the link for the blog, so I'll put it in the show notes because I thought it was cool. That's so awesome, though.
Some of those I do remember, but okay. What I was saying was, in most of the movies, they don't show blood. Like when frickin' Flynn Rider gets stabbed with a frickin' giant jagged piece of glass.
For real.
Like, you know, they try not to show blood because it's for kids. It's not meant to be like realistic.
Should we get like jackets of just like Disney blood?
I'm for it.
I love it.
Just like blood splatter on it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Coming to the shop soon, whenever we have a shop.
The imaginary shop where we sell our imaginary merchandise for our imaginary podcast.
We'll get there eventually. Oh,
Anyway.
we have a real podcast.
Oh, we do? What's it about?
I just want to say one of my Oh, I thought was a really good friend of mine at work. I was talking about my podcast. He goes, "You have a podcast?" And everyone in the office got really quiet and just stared at him because, like, even my boss listens to our podcast. Like,
oh my gosh.
my manager is my boss. Like, and everyone just stared and stared at him, and they were like, yeah, she's had it for like months now." What do you
I don't think my coworkers know what a podcast is. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. I hope my coworkers don't listen to this, but if they do,
Going back to Netflix.
Oh my gosh. Kat and I have been watching the show on Netflix. It's called Dating on the Spectrum, right? That's the name of the show.
I think so, yeah.
And it's literally about people on the spectrum dating. And
we cried.
I would just like to say, I don't cry about anything. And I was sobbing. Michael is like, I don't know why my voice keeps cracking out. I think it's just because like it's so late and I probably have been talking all day. Anyway, Michael, I would die for him. I would do anything for him. He's the sweetest angel in the entire world. His eyes just all of his emotion is in his eyes. Are in his eyes. Correct me, grammar Nazi. And he is just, I love him so much. And I love the show so much. I just want all of them to find their true loves. They're so sweet. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, we definitely both were tearing up at the exact same moment. And it was a lot. It's very emotional. It's a really good show. I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far.
I think we watched 3 episodes and I think I cried 14 times. So it's not something to watch if you're in a bad place, but
if you need a good cry, we suggest either that or Queer Eye.
It's like a happy cry.
Yeah, 110%. Like emotional. Like it just really like you feel emotional about like the things they're saying and like what they're talking about, and you like really feel for them. And oh my god, it's so good. It got me good.
I'm drinking beer and eating those sugar Pillsbury pumpkin Halloween cookies.
Yeah, we don't have our Halloween decorations out yet. It's gonna happen very soon.
No.
Yes.
August is part of summer.
No.
So, my name is Melissa.
And my name is Kat.
And we are tragical.
Yeah, we are.
What if that was our intro?
It's not inaccurate.
We are tragical.
We are tragical.
Like, I am tragically magical. Misfits on Main. Sorry, I'm such a stan. I just love their podcast. But I called and left them a voicemail, and they were saying we should do a crossover episode, which I'm totally there for. So I was in my car screaming because CJ said we should do a magical or tragical or something like that. I don't remember his exact verbiage, but I was like, oh my gosh, like little does he know.
That's so funny.
This podcast was almost magical or tragical. I feel like it should be. We should just change it.
No, I like tragical.
No. Let's episode 17. Let's
just change it up. Fuck everything we've done so far. We're starting over, guys.
I think we are just tragical, so I'm glad we just nipped it. Just tragical.
I feel like every movie is a little bit tragical. So even if it is magical, there's some tragical in there.
I just thought it was really funny that the episode they used my voicemail just also happened to be the episode that they talked about Hamilton, which is only tragical, and we're gonna move on.
Yeah, because we're not.
So this week
we're gonna tell you why
Sword in the Stone
is tragical.
Sword in the Stone.
Sword in the Stone. I think I just usually say it fast.
The sword is in the stone, like literally.
Yeah, it is. It literally
is.
In there.
Spoiler alert. The sword.
It's in there like swimwear.
It's in a stone, like on an anvil though, right? Or something like that. It's a sword in an anvil on a stone.
In the parks, yes.
No, in the movie.
No, it was literally just in a stone.
I'm Googling images right now.
He literally pulled it out of a fucking rock, dude.
No.
Yes.
I want to be right.
In the parks, today. It's in an anvil.
Sword in the stone. Why would the sword in the stone not be on the fucking movie cover? It's in a fucking anvil.
Oh, okay, it is.
Anvil?
The way you just looked at me and shouted that at me.
Is it interchangeable?
Anvil?
Anvil?
Are you saying it different?
Okay, one is more like a U sound, like anvil, and one is anvil, like Advil, an N.
I think you're just making shit up at this
Anvil.
point. It's an anvil.
We're saying two different things. I'm saying anvil and you're saying anvil.
How is it spelled?
with an I, but I
So
feel
it's
like,
anvil.
but you said anvil.
Anvil.
Exactly.
No.
It's one of those words. You can just say it however you want, I guess.
I
It's like
guess.
aunt. You can say aunt or aunt.
Aunt.
It's in an anvil, and I win. Nana and a boo boo. Stick your head in doo doo.
They show it for a half a second
and
in the
I
movie.
strictly remember thinking that's a fucking anvil.
I just remember it's like that in the parks.
I strictly remember thinking that's a sword and an anvil,
Yeah.
not a sword in a stone.
Well, also,
What are anvils made of? Metal, not even stone. I'm upset.
I guess I remember it in the parks being like that. I didn't remember it being like that in the movie. They literally show it for half a second.
The sword.
And the
Sword is another
anvil.
one of those words.
Sword.
Yeah. This movie, nope. I already can't say any of the words in it. Sword. When you spell sword, do you say sword in your head?
Yeah,
It's like
Wednesday.
Yep. This movie opens up.
With some forced credits.
You're right.
Forced credits. Also, I would
It's
like
old.
to mention that the song that plays, Melissa decided to say that it sounds like Golem's fish song from Lord of the Rings. I was like, okay, we're Golem's fish song up in this bitch.
Do you know what song I'm talking about?
Yes, where
It's
he's like slapping the fish on the rock while he's about to eat it, and he's singing about like pulling its guts out and how he's gonna eat it to his tasty fish. The second you said it, I started singing it in my head. Oh, no. Also, I said Lord in the Rings because we were talking about sword in the stone. My brain hasn't stopped repeating those words in my head since I said it, so I do know it is Lord of the Rings. But we were talking about sword in the stone.
I didn't even hear you say that.
My anxiety definitely heard it, and it keeps playing it in my head on repeat.
The Lord in the Rings.
They're in there.
He just has 10 rings on.
Wait, it's like the photo of all of them with like the wrap, like hats on, and they have like gold chains. I bet you $100 I have that photo on my phone. I can guarantee it. Okay, we're never talking about this fucking movie.
I just put weird minstrel song. But
I literally. Okay.
So yeah, forced credits and a book.
Yeah,
We love a classic. We're 20 minutes in and we've cracked.
I'm crying. Oh no.
Kat's put herself together. She had a laughing fit. All right.
I think I'm
So
okay.
forced credits to Gollum's fish pool song. A book.
The book opened.
We stan a book.
Yeah, I didn't know this one had that.
I got so excited. I don't remember what it looked like.
It was like brown, and then it was like leather, like brown leather, and then it had like jewels all around the side. It literally looked like all the rest of them.
Oh, true.
I mean, honestly, and then it
I
said
love
this
them.
one.
They're beautiful. And the king died. Correct?
Yeah,
That's what the book.
Yeah.
That's the book is about.
and it's really great because there's this really awful song by like a bard or something, and Melissa and I were just staring
Gollum.
at each other. Yeah, we were just staring at each other like, what is this man singing about? It was awful. We were so ready for those like 4 minutes to be over.
Moral of the story: the king died,
Yeah, and they didn't have a new one. He didn't have any kids. There was no one.
and a sword was put in a anvil.
Yeah.
But we named the movie Sword in the Stone, and whoever can pull the sword out of the anvil gets to be king. What?
Yeah, he didn't have any predecessors. So instead of being smart and being like, okay, so like, how about we do a duel or something really normal to see who the strongest person is, and then that person will be king. Or maybe like a democracy and we can vote. No, they put a sword in a magical stone. Who put it there? And how did they decide that, okay, this sword showed up in this rock overnight, so whoever can grab it is king.
Yeah, they didn't really clear that up. They just kind of said,
It was just there.
this is the premise of this movie. Deal with it.
I need a backstory. Like, was it Merlin? Is that why he knew so much about it? Yeah, I need the story behind how the sword got into the stone and why this is deciding.
Oh yeah, this is the part where I tried to take a photo of the inscription on the anvil, and then I couldn't. And then Kat was like, do you want me to rewind it? And I said, no, fuck it.
Take
It just
it
was
out
the
and-
inscription.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it said, take it out, you king.
That was the exact quote on it. I can't laugh this hard when we don't have the air on. I get really sweaty.
Oh my. I forgot. I turned the air off. I forgot to stop the fan. So if you hear my fan Congratulations.
Oops. No king just means that, like, men were just killing each other.
Yeah.
They were just like, hi, sir. I don't like the way you just looked at me. Merc.
Our cats are, what's the name of their kingdom? It's England, right?
I mean, London's in England.
I know, but it's England, isn't it?
Yes.
They talk about it later.
Yes.
When do you think this takes place? When is King Arthur?
Oh, God. I don't know.
Spoiler alert. King Arthur.
We don't know who King Arthur is, though, so.
Okay, King Arthur. Let me think about this. So we're in castles, no electricity. We are not aware of other places in the world. You know, we're like in our own continent. I'm going to go 490.
You're kind of close. So it's not like super specific, everything that I'm finding.
Look up like King Arthur.
I literally am on his Wikipedia. Also, he has a Wikipedia.
I mean, he is famous.
It says like late 5th century, early 6th century. Dates that I'm seeing are like 516, 518, 537.
Oh my gosh.
You're pretty close.
Oh my gosh, I'm a medieval nerd. That's my time.
I do love some good medieval shit.
Me too. Love the Renaissance Festival.
Oh my god, that's our favorite shit.
It's the best. The good one got canceled this year. Barf is better.
Yeah, I found out my favorite show at the Renaissance Festival has a TikTok, so I was litty the other day watching all of them.
Well, TikTok's gonna get banned because China's listening to you and watching you get naked at night.
That's fine.
Okay, so all the men in England are killing each other. They're looking for a king. It pans to the woods, and there's a wizard, bro, and he's trying to get water.
He's complaining about how there's no electricity in the Dark Ages?
Because he is time sensitive. Okay, so he's complaining that he has to get water like a peasant, and he carries it back to his hut. In his hut, there is lots of books. There's lots of test tubey things.
Mm-hmm.
And a rude owl.
I literally said I like owls, but fuck Archimedes. Like, of all the birds that I don't like, I do like owls.
He can talk, though.
Yeah, but he's kind of a dick. I mean, I guess if I had to deal with Merlin's crazy ass, I would probably be a little rude, too.
I think he's just sensitive.
Possibly.
He's a sensitive boy.
I mean, Merlin literally sits there poking at him all the time. I'd be a bitch, too.
So he is sitting down for tea and has a weird dream about an 11 or 12-year-old boy, which I haven't seen this movie in a really long time, so I was like, ew.
We were a little concerned. I said, Merlin is daydreaming about small boys, ? Yikes. Yeah, it was a little weird.
He sees the boy in his vision. The boy's name is Wart. A what?
That's what I'm going to name my kid.
Wart
future kid.
is not a name. It wasn't a name in the 5th century.
Well, it's not his name. It's what they call him.
I wish someone would try to call me Wart. I'll punch him in the face. He's with a big dopey teenager with red hair, and he makes him miss his shot. He's trying to shoot something.
He shoots a deer. Wart is on like a tree above him, and the tree breaks, and he falls onto the dopey, I don't know his name, the dopey teenager kid, and he misses a shot, and so his arrow goes like flying into the woods, completely missing the deer.
So Wart goes into a cave because he's trying to prove that he's not afraid of anything to retrieve said ginger teenager's arrow that he was trying to shoot the deer with. Mm-hmm. There's a weird wolf.
The wolf gets me every time. He's just hungry.
Cat could not get over this wolf.
He was so bedraggled.
And I was not having him.
Scrawny ass little baby.
I don't like that wolf.
I don't like him. I'm really sad for him. He's like emaciated. He needs to eat. Let him eat, Wart.
He's trying to eat an 11-year-old. He's not a very good scavenger.
Well, clearly he's emaciated.
So anyway, Wart, our 11-year-old, falls into a hole. And that hole happens to be
a wizard hut?
Merlin's roof. Merlin was having a future premonition.
Correct.
But it was kind of in real time. we find out that Wart's real name is Arthur. Thank God. We're calling him Arthur from here on out. And I don't want to hear the name Wart ever again.
Oh, I'm definitely going to call him Wart because that's what they call him for the whole movie.
I refuse. I will leave this podcast. Merlin introduces himself as a soothsayer and prognosticator.
Oh, I'm glad you got that because I sure didn't.
And I don't know what either of those things mean.
I've heard soothsayer before.
I don't want to know what they mean. I just wanted you to know what he was.
Okay, fair. Moving on.
And that he can see into the future. So good for him. And, you know, Arthur's just in a weird hut with an old man. And he's like, you want some tea? And you know, Arthur's like, yeah, I love tea. Tea's good. And a possessed sugar bowl serves the sugar. And a possessed teapot serves the tea. But the sugar bowl...
He's the only part of this movie that matters.
Is so sassy.
My favorite part of this whole movie.
I love him. And also he starts putting sugar into Merlin's bowl. But Merlin doesn't say the magic word, which is when he's ready for him to stop. The sugar bowl fills Merlin's cup way, way over. And that's how Kat likes her coffee.
You can literally ask anyone who's ever watched me make my coffee. The amount of sugar that sugar bowl puts in that cup is probably about half of what I use.
It's about accurate. Yeah. Also, that cup of tea, is that really how they have tea over in England? Because I would need 48 of those. I guess that's the most American thing I've ever said, but...
In, like, teacups?
Do you know that people are offended by the size of our drinks? My friend who lives in Australia talks about it all the time. She's like, the size of beverages they give you at restaurants is insanely outrageous.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like at Ale House. You know how they give you just that giant cup of water? That's absurd to my friend who lives overseas.
Why?
I don't know.
They just have to refill it less.
I don't know.
You should see Melissa when she goes out to
I
restaurants.
don't know.
The amount of water this woman can drink is nuts.
Oh, especially those Ale House ones, those big old ones. Give me 4 of those.
Anyway.
So, yeah, Kat is that sugar bowl, for sure.
My spirit animal.
Sassy and full of sugar. And Merlin is explaining that Arthur needs an education. Why? I don't know. What does Merlin have to do with this?
He's trying to get Wart ready for the future.
But then isn't he meddling with time?
But he knows it's going to happen regardless. He's just trying to better prepare him for it.
That's none of his business.
It is, though.
Read your books and do your science experiments and talk to your owl and mind your own business. So I guess Arthur is like, yeah, pack your stuff and come live at my castle.
Yeah.
What is this movie so far? This is not adding up for me.
It's a little weird.
It's chaotic. So the whole packing song happens. It's like a ghetto bibbidi bobbidi boo, I'd say. Just made up words that don't make any sense, but it's not as good as bibbidi bobbidi boo. It didn't like slap quite as hard, you know?
I also wish when I traveled that I could just pack like that.
Oh, the way that he packs is lovely.
Just shrink everything and put it in one bag. Honestly, though, Merlin really stresses me out.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
That was it.
Moving on, that was it.
Anything I felt like I needed to call you more on.
So they start walking, I guess, back to the castle that Wart lives in. And that little wolf starts... The wolf starts following.
I knew you were going to say something
just
about
a
it.
malnourished little puppy. He needs to eat.
I knew you were going to say something about that stupid wolf.
He shows up like 6 more times, so I think that was the last time I mentioned him.
But Merlin is booking it up a mountainside, and Arthur's having a really hard time keeping up. And then Merlin says, which way is your castle anyway? And Arthur's like, the other way. So they weren't even going the right way. So we arrive at, quote unquote, Arthur's castle.
Yeah, it's like a rundown castle, like in the middle of nowhere, England.
I guess because they don't have a king, everything is in shambles, including the economy, or
But also, who is this family of one man, his son, his adopted son, and the weird kitchen lady who just have a castle? Who are they to England to have a castle?
He probably is a landowner. He probably bought the land and used to have farms and stuff, but now he can't afford it, and all of his peasants died. His serfs?
Yeah, does he have a that's what I'm saying. Does he have a title?
Probably.
They don't mention it.
A really lame title though. Just landlord. Oh yeah.
We both went two completely different directions.
I think he's just probably a wealthy landowner. Or was. But now he's not because...
You just own a castle?
Yeah.
All right.
You just build a castle.
Anyway. So we meet Wart's adopted dad, who keeps calling Merlin Marvin.
The father, who's also ginger. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
He
doesn't believe that Merlin is what he says he is, which is a wizard.
He doesn't believe that Merlin is a wizard, and he also makes... Arthur go help in the kitchen.
Yeah, what is it? What does he call it? Demerits. You got 3 demerits.
Which is an hour of work?
Yeah,
we decided?
Yeah, so 1 demerit is 1 hour of work.
That's outrageous for an 11-year-old.
Also, does his actual son not get demerits? They just adopted this small boy and said, slave man, you are gonna do our shit for us.
That sounds like the 5th century to me.
Cool. All right,
yeah?
I mean...
Solid?
I mean, not in a good way, just it is what it is, I guess.
He's lucky to not be sleeping in the woods. He would be eaten by that wolf by now.
That wolf would have a full tummy.
If it wasn't for the ginger dad. Dad isn't having Merlin's crap, and Merlin makes a wizard blizzard.
It's literally what I wrote to. I wrote wizard blizzard.
He makes snow, and Dad is suddenly convinced that Merlin is a real wizard. So he tells him that he can live in their rickety old tower, which is great.
Yeah,
Leave him bored. So Merlin can educate Arthur. This movie doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. He kind of bullies the dad into letting him live there.
Why is Dad okay with it?
What? I'm sure he's not really. I mean, he gets to get bullied.
He's like, you're taking my slave away to educate him, but then he's also kind of okay with it.
I don't know.
Somebody explain this movie to me. Okay, so this is my favorite part. Sir Pellinor.
Bro, I wrote Sir Pellinor with the killer mustache.
Bro, Sir Pellinor is the best part of this movie.
He comes running in.
He is a king. Yeah, he's not a king. He's a sir.
He's a sir.
He comes with the news that on New Year's Eve that year, there will be a tournament, and the winner of said tournament will be King of England.
Yeah, man. Which is what they should have freaking done to begin with. I don't know what this sword in the stone bullshit is, but...
The sword and the anvil.
Yeah. This is
That's the name of this episode.
how normally it would have been done. I don't know why we waited this long, you know?
No idea. So the teenager who we find out's name is Kay.
Kay. K-A-Y.
Which horrible name, again. Who is naming these people? The only person with a good name is Pellinor. Everyone else is canceled.
With his killer mustache.
We love Pellinor.
Oh, man.
Pellinor stands. And Kay has decided he will be their champion and starts training to join this tournament on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and Wart is going to be his squire.
The dad, his name is Hector.
Oh, is that where you got
Hector without an H. Hector.
I think it's great.
Like ectoplasm. I bet that's what it's short for.
I hope it is.
So, this is the scene I was waiting for this whole movie, and I kept asking Kat
when it was.
And she kept telling me it was coming. The fish scene.
Oh my god.
Why is this the only part of this movie I remember from childhood?
Honestly, this and Madam Mim are the only things I remember too.
And it was not good. It was offensive. This whole movie doesn't make any sense.
It honestly doesn't. Like, what lesson is he teaching him by making them become fish?
The lessons in this movie are, I literally got a better education in Florida, and that's saying a lot.
Yikes,
So,
yeah.
Merlin turns Wart, or Arthur, into a fish, why does Fishward have hair? Is my first question. Merlin turns himself into a fish as well and gets in a pond with Fishward.
Yeah, I think it's the moat around the castle. And they have like this frog that keeps fucking with them too.
Yeah, the frog is really annoying.
When I became human again, I would have caught that frog and eaten frog legs for dinner. And that's coming from a freaking vegetarian.
Yeah.
So
That frog had to go.
fuck that frog.
So they're in the pond and Wart doesn't know how to swim. He doesn't have the fish instinct to know how to swim. And then 4 minutes later, he tries to eat a bug.
Yeah, and Merlin's like, oh, it's your instinct. So you had the instinct to eat a bug, but not to swim like a fish? Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Stressy.
Okay, so now they almost get eaten
Yeah.
by a weird fish. A barracuda?
I think it is a barracuda.
Or, I'm not going to pretend I know what fish are.
It's a medieval barracuda.
We're going to go with medieval barracuda. Merlin can't remember the spell to turn them back into humans.
Yeah, he's kind of like, hey, this is part of your lesson. Good luck trying to get away from this barracuda while I try and figure out how we get back into being humans.
Yeah, and then Archimedes, luckily, saves Fishwart. Because Fishwart just jumps out of the water. He's had enough. He commits...
Yeets himself?
Yeah, he, commits fish suicide.
I'm just going to yeet myself out of this pond away from this barracuda. I mean, that's fair.
And then Archimedes remembers the spell and tells Merlin, and Merlin remembers the spell and turns them back into humans just in time for Hector. His name is just stupid. Just in time for Hector to call Wart back to the castle where Kay, our ginger teenage king, is breaking a horse's back because he's way too big to be riding a horse. Okay. So Hector gives him 6 demerits, which is 6 hours of work.
Yeah.
He's a baby boy and he just got turned into a fish today.
Also, how is he supposed to be a squire if he's cleaning the kitchen for 6 hours? Like, when is he supposed to be a squire in that day?
Hector's not smart.
Wait, that is very painful.
Neither is Kay.
T.
So Merlin says, F this, I'm magic, and makes the dishes clean themselves.
Yeah, essentially.
And then they go off, and now they become squirrels.
This part stressed me out so bad, it wasn't even funny.
I'm not sure what this movie is about.
Yeah, what is he being taught?
To be a fish and a squirrel.
For what?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Babe, I don't know what was happening in this whole movie. Why are they becoming animals? How is this preparing him to become a king?
I don't know.
And then this part of the movie is so weird. There is a girl squirrel and she is sexually harassing Squirrel Wart.
She literally pushes him over at one point and is fluffing her tail at him and literally rubbing herself all over him. It's kind of aggressive and very concerning.
She kisses him on the mouth at one point.
Yeah, she does.
How many girls do you think Wart knows?
0.
Do you think that was his first kiss?
100. Melissa, the only women we see in this whole movie is Madame Mim and then that frickin' dish lady. You think he kisses the dish lady?
It gets worse. Okay,
yes,
it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
So then, first of all, 20 minutes of this movie is this squirrel scene.
I literally wrote half this movie is horny squirrels.
They were squirrels for 4 hours. What the heck is this movie?
I don't know. Why is there so many horny squirrels?
And then Merlin gets himself a lady squirrel. Is she thick?
She busty.
Oh, she a big squirrel.
She thick with 4 C's.
But she knows what she wants.
She gets in there, man.
And she wants Merlin.
Oh, she does.
And this is my favorite part. She mercilessly tickles Merlin as a squirrel, the thick squirrel. And it just I was so uncomfortable.
She literally makes out with him too.
I've never been that. I've watched porn and I was really uncomfortable.
Oh no, yeah, it was not a good time.
It was very unsavory.
Also, I want to talk about how Merlin literally tells Wart while he's being accosted by this female squirrel, it's okay, it's fine. And then as soon as it happens to him, he's like, oh no, this is not okay. No. If it was okay when it was happening to him, it's okay when it's happening to you. There's no double standards here, my dude. You don't want to get tickled?
I don't understand this movie.
I don't know what's happening.
What did you present to the people? Was there a reading of the script? Oh, how did movies work back then?
I don't know. However, I lied earlier. My mangy wolf friend is back. And he tries to eat them. Beer. He tries to eat them. But small girl squirrel saves Wart from malnourished Mr. Wolf. This is a very important plot point. I don't know why you're shaking your head at me.
This is a very important plot point.
He gets saved by Girl Squirrel, and then they get turned back into humans, and she cries herself to sleep.
I mean, she really came on to him, so she needs to check herself. I'm sorry.
No, that was a lot happening there.
Okay, so they are done being flippin' squirrels.
Thank God.
They return to Fort Bullshit, where Ector and Kay give Wart demerits all day long, and the kitchen maid runs out because the kitchen is bewitched. Oh no!
And Ector decides that fighting the plates and hitting them is what's gonna stop it.
Break all your plates. It's a recession. Break all your plates.
And you know we don't have a wizard living with us right now. That would make this make sense. But instead, we're gonna fight the plates.
I think that was the right call.
I think so. I think he did good.
So Merlin disappears because people are yelling at him. And bitch same.
Can I do that?
Can I just disappear if people are yelling at me because I don't want to hear it?
Do say.
He just said whoop and just disappeared.
Gone.
And then he comes back after Ector and Kay leave. It's really sad though because Ector tells Wart that he can't squire for Kay. So that means he doesn't get to go to the big city and see the big tourney.
Which I'm pretty sure is London, right? Is that when they talk about London?
Maybe.
I think it's in London.
I didn't just hallucinate London, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure London is very specific.
Oh yeah, I put in London.
See? We got there.
So Merlin is like, that's fine because I'm giving you an education. It's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Arthur goes up to Merlin's tower, and Merlin, I guess, is just bored. I don't know. And he's like, Archimedes, why don't you take over?
Well, because so Merlin is teaching Wart about the world and how it's round, and is blowing Wart's mind. And then he's like kind of saying a bunch of stuff that's like from the future that wouldn't make any sense to Wart. Mm-hmm. So then Archimedes is like, why don't you teach him in a way that makes sense? So Merlin's like, you fucking do it then.
Yeah.
And so he does. So Archimedes starts teaching Wart how to write.
Yeah. He teaches him the alphabet, which is a solid foundation for an education.
Absolutely. He does pretty good too.
I'm really proud of Archimedes.
Archimedes the bitch bird.
He killed it. And then, you know what? That wasn't enough learning for the day. Being a fish and a squirrel. And this is all like one day, right? Or no?
I think so.
I couldn't really tell. I didn't know what was going on.
I don't know.
But why not become birds?
Oh, God.
Why not?
No.
You know, Archimedes taught him the alphabet, so they should become birds now. That seems like the next lesson. Hey, Kat.
Hey, what?
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Our sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mel, do you like cute earrings?
You know I do.
What about bucket hats?
Absolutely.
What about macrame and cute wall hangings?
Those are my favorite things.
You would absolutely love this really cute shop that I adore called Shop Sunshine Seekers. They make the most adorable handmade pom-pom earrings, Mickey bucket hats, and home decor.
That sounds so fun.
And I have a code for free shipping for our listeners.
Kat, tell me that code.
The code is going to be Tragical. You can use it when you shop at shopsunshineseekers.com for free shipping on your order. And everyone should definitely give them a follow at Shop Sunshine Seekers on Instagram.
That code for free shipping is Tragical, Tragical. Linked in the comments below.
Whoop whoop. I wish I could have fast forwarded through this whole part.
The part where the movie started and the part where the movie ended.
Yeah, just fast forward through the whole thing. It's always birds. There always has to be birds. I think Pirates was the one movie we watched that didn't have birds so far.
Jack Sparrow.
He's not a bird.
Mic drop.
Fuck. Well.
Cotton's parrot.
Oh, shit. All right.
Good night.
Yep. Damn.
So they become birds. And go ahead.
Wart still has hair again. Why does a bird need hair?
It's a special bird.
God, he's really ugly as a bird.
We're coming to a really good part though. So
this whole part is my worst nightmare.
A hawk comes for Wart because he's a tiny bird, and Wart flies into a chimney in the woods. Yay!
And my queen, frickin' the marvelous Madame Mim lives there.
Yes.
I stan Madame Mim.
Her confidence level is 1,000.
I wish I had that confidence.
And she is a toe. I'm obsessed with her. I am obsessed with her.
I really do love her.
She decides to... I think I was so just in awe of Madame Mim. I didn't write any notes, actually.
So
do you want to go over her spiel?
Yes. Okay, so she starts going off about Merlin because Wart mentions how he turned into a bird because Merlin's teaching him things. Uh-huh. And so Madame Mim goes off on this tangent about how she hates Merlin and he's a horrible wizard and like all this shit. And then she decides to turn into a cat and try and eat Wart. So Merlin shows up to save Wart from Madame Mim the cat from eating. And this whole thing...
No, she sings her whole song. You missed her whole song about how wonderful she is.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
She sings an entire song about how great she is. And I love that for her. She turns into, like, Sexy Mim at one point.
That's my favorite. She looks pretty good.
That's my favorite thing in the whole world is Sexy Mim with the sexy Disney babes.
With Gothel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's
going
good.
with Esmeralda and Gothel. And there was one more. We had another one. Someone else with great hair, I feel like.
I think it was someone with great hair. Who was it?
Anyway, she's getting added to the list of sexy Disney bitches.
We should actually make that a list.
We should.
Yeah.
When Merlin comes to save Bird Wart.
Yeah, who is still a bird.
Yeah. They have a wizard duel. And Mim cheats.
Of course she does. She like has very specific rules. And she very specifically breaks them.
Yeah. But I think my favorite part is, first of all, she kind of is a better wizard.
No, 110%.
She's what's up. And then...
I think the thing is that Merlin is better in the fact that he's good and he uses his magic for good, whereas Mim, like, she just uses it for what she uses it for. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't care if it's good or evil or, like, whatever, like, it may be perceived as. Like, she uses magic to use magic.
I feel like that's the kind of wizard I would be.
Just fuck it?
Yeah, I mean, you're a wizard. Who's gonna fuck with you?
Merlin?
No, he won't, because he's good. So be Mim. Be Mim in this situation. But I love it. At one point, he literally turns into a walrus and, like, crushes her. I think that was my favorite part of this movie.
I wrote down all the things that she turned into.
Go.
She turns into an alligator, a fox, a hen, an elephant, a tiger, a snake, a rhino, a dragon. And then Merlin turns into a disease and wins.
Yeah. She gets the Rona.
She really does.
She gets, like, nasty green warts. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
She may be my favorite Disney character, like, ever. She's so scary. I love her so much.
When she turns her face into the pig, she really creeps me out.
That was horrifying.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, but he does add the ear whisper thing to her that gives her the disease. Oh, yeah. Which, remember, he did to Ector at the house. Mm-hmm. Maybe he bewitched Ector.
Maybe he did.
I forgot about that part.
He didn't do a very good job of it.
He does a whisper thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cutscene to Christmas, and Kay, our ginger teenage heartthrob, is flipping jacked.
Yeah. He got knighted, bro.
And his voice went from AMK to AMK. I don't know. I guess maybe it's been 6 months or so. Would you say?
Yeah, I think that whoever's doing the knighting is just real. Also, who's knighting? They don't have a king. Who knighted him?
I don't know. We don't care.
So I just said
you just have to accept it. Yeah. He's a knight.
Who knighted him? I need to know.
Another a knight. I don't know.
That's not how that works.
The king of the knights.
That's not how that. That's the king. They don't have one of those.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
So Kay's squire gets, I don't know,
if something happens,
syphilis or something. What was popular back then?
The plague.
Kay's squire gets the plague.
I don't know if that's medieval. I think that was after.
What did you get? Just like gout would kill you, I feel like. Kay's squire gets gout. Is probably gonna not make it. So they actually need Wart to be a squire. And he is pumped because now he gets to go to the big city, London, and party hard with everybody.
How many animals do you think he's become at this point?
By Christmas? Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's been every animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Great.
sure.
Perfect.
He's been sexually harassed by every animal in the forest.
It really just hit me that it's been months, and I'm like, okay, if he became 3 animals in one day,
Oh, he's been everything.
what has happened since?
So he goes up to tell Merlin that he is going to be squire, and Merlin gets really upset. Let him go be a freaking squire for 2 days.
Right.
Why are you being weird about it?
I don't know.
So he decides to go to... Is it Bermuda?
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
Bermuda.
He packs his crap, and he shoots off to Bermuda. Then that's that,
Yeah.
right?
I wish I could do that.
Did I miss anything?
No, that was it.
This movie doesn't make sense.
No. Also, okay, so this was when I was like, did Bermuda exist at this time? And then that's when we realized that he is a time traveler.
But
Because-
Bermuda has always existed.
Like, it existed, but it wasn't Bermuda. Like, it wasn't called Bermuda in the medieval times. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't say, like, I'm going to visit Bermuda, because they didn't know about
didn't
Bermuda.
visit. London was vacation.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure people lived there.
Right. Okay. What I'm saying is, in London, I wouldn't say I'm going to Bermuda. They didn't even know it existed.
No, right.
Like, England was England.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. This is when I really realized that Merlin is a time traveler, because how would he know what...
I don't know if he's a time traveler. He can see into the future. I think he just went to Bermuda.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would suck, being able to see into the future and then living in Shitsville.
Well, his outfit isn't from that time when he comes back.
Maybe that's what they wore in Bermuda. You don't know what Bermuda was doing in the 5th century?
Button up and chinos
Maybe.
and flip-flops.
Kay and Hector and Arthur, or Wart, whatever
Wart.
you want to call him, they go to London. Kay is about to enter a sword fight when Wart realizes he left his sword at the
Inn?
motel? Inn. The inn.
Broski had one job.
The Motel 6.
Literally, sole job.
His whole job is to legitimately carry Kay's sword.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He didn't do that.
No.
But it's good because he runs back to the inn and the inn is closed.
Because everyone's at the tournament.
Because everyone's at the tournament. Even the innkeeper, he said, we closed.
You can't come back. There's no reason you should be coming back into my inn right now.
But, oh my gosh, it's so lucky that on the way, Wart Arthur sees a sword and an anvil.
Yeah.
So he just runs over and pulls it out.
And Archimedes is like, bro, don't touch it.
Yeah, I guess Archimedes thinks it's a bad... Why did Archimedes stay with him?
Because Merlin said, fuck you guys, and left.
That's rude.
He left
his
Archimedes
pet.
there, yeah.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, a little bit.
Arthur brings the sword to Kay, and all the men start gawking at the sword, and they're like, that's the sword in the stone!
Yo, bitch.
And he's like, IDK, I just pulled it out. And they were like, you're a liar! So all the men, which there's no women in the scene, it's just men. All the men drag him back to the anvil, and they put it back in the anvil, and they're like, do it again! And then Kay is like, I'll pull it out. And then he tries, and it doesn't come out, because Kay isn't the rightful king, obviously.
Not the chosen one.
And then Wart just walks over and yanks it right out. And he's like, no, I just did this. And everyone's like, you're the king!
Yeah.
And then that's literally the end of the movie.
Also, I think it's funny that they decided to finally throw this tournament after however many years of war and just death. And in that same year that they finally decided to do this, some random fucking kid pulls this sword out of, like,
Yeah.
what?
And this movie is, what? And then Arthur is king now. And he doesn't want to be king because he's freaking 11. Like, he's 11 years old. Like, he doesn't want to be the king. So Merlin comes back in a tizzy from Bermuda in a fit and then says, you're a king. I'll be your advisor.
And that was it.
That's literally the end of the movie.
That's literally the end of the movie. I don't even... I genuinely
hard.
don't know where I'm going to put this. Okay, so I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I mean, the Sugar Bowl is really the only part that I care about, and Madam Mim. Honestly, if it weren't for those two, I would probably not enjoy this movie. There's a lot of birds. A lot of birds. Not a fan of that. So I think I'm going to put it at number 13, under Cinderella and above Tinkerbell.
Yeah, this is definitely better than flipping Tinkerbell. Anything is better than Tinkerbell. I love Madam Mim so much. Honestly, what a babe. I can't get over how much I love her. I want to give it a 10 just for Mim, but I know that I can't.
But the rest of the movie is, because the rest of it is just not 10.
If I could just play the 10 minutes that Mim is in it, this would be the best movie.
Fair. No, that's totally fair.
I am giving it a 7 out of 10 as well. I'm putting it above Lady and the Tramp solely for Mim and below Alice in Wonderland. So it's my new number 10. I love her so much. She's so beautiful.
You're hilarious.
All right, what's our movie for next week?
Okay, so my first hint, this movie has a lot of main characters that are very well known.
Aladdin.
No. It's kind of like half real people, like half not. There's a lot of singing. Yeah, and then some aren't even
Mary
like...
Poppins.
No.
I got so excited.
No, that is a good one though. It's not animated. Like the other half isn't animated. They have an attraction at the parks.
Half real people?
And then half not.
Half real people.
There's one character that is like the most famous one, but like there's like literally a ton of them and they're all pretty famous. There's like one word I want to say, but if I say it, it's just going to give it away. So I can't say it.
I think they're real people. Half not is...
What's throwing you off?
Half real.
They sing a lot.
It's a musical.
Yeah, kind of.
And it's very popular.
Yeah, very. For like years. Like years. This is just a newer movie.
What are you talking about?
They have an attraction at Hollywood Studios.
All of them?
Yes.
There's nothing at Hollywood Studios.
Right. So think about what's at Hollywood Studios. That is a collective they.
Like Toy Story, but it's obviously not Toy Story.
Mm-hmm. They have multiple movies, multiple shows.
I have no idea. Just tell me.
The Muppets. What do you mean?
Oh, I was thinking like, I don't know. I was thinking animals. Like, I guess they are animals, but they're puppets.
Some of them are animals. Some of them are like, I said some of them aren't human.
We're watching The Muppets, the newer one?
Yeah, like the 2011 one. I didn't want to say
the one with
puppets.
Amy Adams, though?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I hate Amy Adams.
I don't know why you hate her.
Okay, let me rephrase. I do not like Amy Adams because her eyes are always watery.
That is the dumbest reason to not like someone.
I'm allowed to not like people for any reason I want.
I love Amy Adams.
I love Jason Segel, though.
It's a good movie. I think
that's a tree I'd like to
funny.
climb. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yes.
8.
I love Amy Adams. She's one of my favorite actresses.
All right.
That was a really hard one for you to get. I didn't think it was going to be
what
that
are you
hard.
talking about? Half of them are... It's not even half. All of them are Muppets except for 2 people in the movie. Kind of. Like, maybe...
But it's in, like, the real world. Like, I was trying to say it's not, like, animated.
So, leave us a review.
Please.
5 stars. That helps us a lot. We love you. You're beautiful.
Wear a mask.
Oh, we're over that. If you're not wearing a fucking mask, you're an idiot.
I think we're done.
Stay golden, pony flight.
Oh no.
We need an outro.
I know. Someone
we need
help
something
us.
cute.
Yeah.
You know, like
I don't know. I'm not good at this stuff. You know it.
Someday when I'm not really tired all the time and wanting to cry, I'll write us an outro.
Cool.
Until then.
Bye.
That can't be it either.
No, I hope that is it.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
These opinions are our own and are in no way associated with the film or the film's production company.
The cover art for Tragical Podcast was created by Johnny the Alchemist on Instagram. Give him a like and a follow to see more of his insanely good artwork and to contact him for any of your artwork needs.
The Tragical Podcast intro music was produced by Ja Reezy. Contact information can be found on his Instagram at Ja Reezy. JAHREEZY.